Centro, 6 Senses Yarnoi in a couple of minutes. Near impossible, there's so much to see, but I'll start and do it really quickly. What you'll see is basically what we're doing currently and then what we have planned really through 2017. Guests will come across from a resort. In the area I'm standing in right now, this is going to be set up as garden patches where the actual hosts are going to have their own department garden beds, and they're going to have a competition to be able to see who can actually cultivate and yield the most. So we've got a couple of beds where we'll do that. Guests will then actually go on a pathway where they'll walk around and come into the water room. Water room, when they get into here, one of the hosts will be here. Lovely setup, it's been really magically set, all of this. They'll get a bottle, they'll be able to see how it gets clean, they'll be able to fill a bottle, they'll be able to drink it right here. Get refreshed, we've got heaps to see. As they're walking along, back of house, which is up here right behind us, we're really actually proud of it. So we want to showcase it. The laundry, we're going to talk about how we're using wonderful machines that are actually energy efficient, water efficient. We're going to talk about that with the guests. They'll walk along the back here. They'll see our whole entire back of house and training and education area. They'll actually flow through. The beauty of it is they'll walk into this area down here, which is more garden-like. There's going to be a wonderful sala that'll be set up here, which will be an information sala. They'll be able to get educated on exactly what we do everywhere. The beauty of this is it actually does face our purchasing and receiving area. So we want to be proud of this as well. We want to be able to talk about sustainable purchasing and what we're doing from there, and guests will be able to see it firsthand. In the background, however, will be a wonderful duck pond. The duck pond is actually going to be connected to our wetland that's been built that actually helps us to recycle the water from the actual laundry. After a bit of time in the information sala, guests will actually see our refuse area. So this is our garbage area. Proud of this as well. We'll open up the gate. We'll show where what we're doing with waste separation. Now you get into the real heat of Centro. We've got the landscaping workshop up here. So the landscapers will be there, hopefully not asleep in a hammock. And then they'll really walk into Centro and start to see where things come alive. They'll see straight away over here the effective microorganisms where we've got our EM working. The guys will be able to have a storyboard that will show exactly how we're putting that all together. The guys are always working here all the time, so it'll be some good interaction. That will then flow into where we've actually got our candles. This has been fantastic. All of the candle wax coming out of the resort now. We're actually remaking all of our candles, reducing our costs by about 60% at the moment, potentially going to be able to be more. Then they'll actually see the glass recycling area where we're doing the crushing. Thanks to 6 Senses Lamu for getting us really kicked off with this. Crushing the glass, how we're actually turning that into the many things that are available. Big one of these items for 6 Senses Yarnoi is actually going to be pavers. We're going to try and remove as much using cement as possible and start using pavers, which are very much like this design you see here. The idea is that guests will walk across the plush grass more or less to be able to get a feel of that sustainability. Then they'll be able to actually come across. They will see where we're doing our composting, and they'll come across what is probably one of the biggest worm farms that I've certainly ever come across. So we've got 2 huge beds and we're getting some amazing quality of compost through these beds. You can see at the end we've actually got it in perspex, so as the guests can actually see how it's all working. We're probably about 25% of the way there. As we keep walking through, we've got all of our offcuts of timber. We've got all of the actual cuts that are coming off any of the trees. Any waste, wood waste is coming in. It's then going into our wood chipper. From the wood chipper, it's going into a bay. It's got to be kept dry. While it's sitting there dry, we are then going to be able to push it into what looks like a box right now, this wonderful biomass unit. So this gasifier, it'll be connected within the first quarter of next year. This has been linked through to our main switchboard and will be a source of renewable energy. The next part next to this, as we grow in 2017, up in this area here will become a charcoal kiln. So that's actually going to be built, and we're using a local tradesman to be able to put that together, who's a wonderful craftsman. This wonderful area up here we've actually cleared, and we're going to be able to use this as a wonderful big organic garden. So we've got a greenhouse that we're actually going to construct in this area. We're going to start cultivating a lot more of our fruits and vegetables here on site. We then move through here and you'll see the nursery. So the landscaping nursery is here. So really this entire site is going to be very, very green. And guests will be able to go for a walk right the way through all of this area here. Ready, Carp? So the guys are always working in here. It'll be an app. Nobody will stop just for guests coming through. It's going to be very interactive. One thing that we've actually just introduced, the walkway will make its way around here and into our 3Rs workshop. We have just recently relocated what was our carpentry workshop and we've renamed it as 3Rs. So this will actually be open to all of the guests. The 3Rs are refurbish, rethink, reuse. And the effort is going to be on here being able to show how much we are engaged in making sure that we are getting anything that's coming out of the resort is actually being rethought if it's not capable of going back to its original purpose, or it's definitely being refurbed to go back into the resort. Okay, now we're going to go up to the real farm area. So as we're sitting in an actual conference room right now, I've got a good feeling we've got about 6 goats that are turning up at Six Senses Yarnoi, and this is about to be their brand new home. So we're putting a goat farm in. Thank you, Gary and the Samui team for educating us. We picked up some great knowledge from locals as well, but we've got a lovely goat farm that's actually being set up right here, and this will be ready before Christmas. So pretty exciting. The beauty of this area is it will actually flow in. Straight over, you'll walk past this, and we're going to actually shield all of this area off with some lovely sort of clumping bamboo and some different trees, and then you'll be able to walk straight into our chicken farm. So guests will have actually had a little bit of time with some goats. They'll then come and see the chickens. They'll have their own baskets from their villas. They'll be able to come in and grab some eggs. Eggs today, as there is every single day, we're getting around 7,500 eggs per month that are going straight back into the kitchen. So these guys are working hard, our 300 chickens. I head back towards the resort now, so the guests will actually have walked most of that area. They'll be going back on a buggy. They'll go past this area here, which is actually what we've set up to be a timber yard. This is all of the actual timber that's coming out of the resort is actually going in this area. It's getting sorted into grades A, B and C. A going back into the resort so we can use it obviously, and then we're recycling or refurbishing the other timber to be able to go back over to 3R's workshop. And there's a lot of areas now in the resort where you'll see that we haven't brought any materials, we're just reusing and rethinking the materials that we've got. So as the guests are making their way back into the resort, we'll actually stop here. We've got our green pond in the background. So we think it's important to showcase, we've obviously recycling all of the water, going back into sort of landscaping and some other means. They'll be able to stop here and see exactly how we do all of that as we're just entering back in towards the main resort proper now. We've come back into the resort. The guests have actually maybe milked a goat. They've got some eggs. Next stop is we've actually got the herb garden. They can actually see some of the herbs in the garden here. We've got another 2 of those as well. But they'll be able to certainly make their way up. They can come into our wonderful mushroom hut, which we are also now about to redesign, so it will be a sprout hut as well. So they'll be able to get sprouts and mushrooms from here. And a new addition, which hopefully should be in before the end of the year, be buzzing around. There will be a wonderful beehive that will be here, which is actually going to be able to flow straight away. You pour your own honey and you'll be able to take it back for breakfast. So it'll be a nice interactive journey is what we actually hope for. We hope that the guests will feel that it's very tangible and that they can actually touch, feel and experience it rather than actually just be told about it. Six Senses, Yarnoi, Eco Centro.
Big space. Big space. Look. Look, honey.